Okay, we're going to get her started here. Hello to everybody, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm Vic Noble. Probably you already know that, but I'll get straight into this webinar. We're going to go over the meat of the content first, and I'm going to show you some trades, how they set up, and all that kind of thing. And then, I'll go over all the most important things to know about this service, and at the end, obviously, I'll cover pricing and all that kind of stuff. This webinar is going to be longer than normal. It's going to be about 45 minutes long. And then I'll answer questions at the end, okay? So otherwise, it's just too distracting for me to go back and forth between the presentation and answering questions and all that. So it's just very important that I take the time to properly explain what I offer with short-term trading so that you completely understand it. So I hope that all makes sense. So just before we get going, I always I have to read out this disclaimer. My old days as a futures broker, old habits die hard, but it's important. The products referenced at this site are analytical tools only and are not intended to replace individual research or licensed investment advice. Unique experiences and past performances do not guarantee future results. Trading currencies involves substantial risk, and there's always the potential for loss. Your trading results may vary. No, they will vary. No representation is being made that these products and any associated advice or trading will guarantee profits or not result in losses from trading. Never use anything other than risk capital for trading. Is that ever true? Okay, so this is a little picture of us. Probably most of you know this is Darko over here, and then me on the right here. Darko has an amazing story regarding his Forex trading development, and the best way to hear about it is on his podcast. But to make a long story short, he's become an excellent trader and a price action analyst, and I was very happy to have him join the Coach's Corner service in November 2017 as our lead coach, and he's made great contributions to this service ever since. So yeah, it's great. Him and his wife and his kids all live just outside of Stockholm in Sweden, and besides trading, he's also a supervising police officer in Stockholm. So, and I've had the pleasure of visiting him several times now, and actually last time was 2019, Vic Young, one of the co-founders of Forex Mentor, and I both went out. So hopefully we can get back over there again soon. As for me, my hair's going grayer by the day. I started the Coach's Corner service in 2006. And 5.5 years before that, I was a futures broker for the biggest futures trading company in the world at the time. Great learning experience, super valuable in helping me develop what I wanted to teach to aspiring traders. And since 2006, I've run our Coach's Corner services, so I'm in my 17th year here, and just enjoyed it very, very much. I live in Vancouver with my wife, and we now have 4 grandchildren, so we're pretty busy, but really, really loving the whole thing. Let me see, everything's okay there, Vic, so far? This is all the links to our social media. There's that podcast link you can go check out and check Darko's story. It's quite intriguing. So let's, quickly go over why you're here, what the issue is, and that is you have a small trading account. And when I say small, pick a number. I'm just going to say $1,000 or less, and you want to grow it relatively quickly. How do you do that without taking on huge risk? Because if you take on huge risk, that's a big two-edged sword, right? Because taking on a big risk, like risking 25 or 50% of your account on a trade, is just a flat-out gamble. And better to go to Vegas and slap it down on red on the roulette wheel or something, okay? So be wary of that. What I want to do is just get honest about where you are probably at right now, because that's how you got to go from that point, and why you wanted to attend this webinar. Typically, you've been at trading for a while. Maybe you're a more recent trader. It doesn't matter, but either case, you're not seeing consistent profitability. You probably don't have a solid trading plan that you follow day in and day out. And I hope you downloaded the one that I gave you. Let me see here. Links back on the screen. Those are you'll get the recording. Sorry, everybody's going to get a recording afterwards, so you can get the links after that. Anyway, typically you don't have a solid trading plan that you follow day in and day out. And I do hope you did get that one that you got to everyone who registered for this webinar. And psychologically, you're probably not as fit as you need to be. So you're kind of at a point where you're not willing to put much more money into trading. I totally get that, and definitely would agree that putting a bunch of more money of your hard-earned money into trading is not a good idea unless and until you get total clarity and a very clear handle on what you're going to do, how you're going to do it, and what you can expect. And I just want to say again, money for trading should always, always be considered risk capital. That means if you lost it, it would not have a negative impact on your life. Okay, I don't want to be part of anybody getting hurt financially. Not necessary at all. And you're probably also wanting to see some results fairly quickly. Well, the good news is that it is possible to get that with short-term trading. Obviously, nobody can ever guarantee anything, but the patterns that we trade, and a lot of you might already be familiar with them, have proven to give us a great edge over and over and over for many, many years. Since I started, I'm using some of the same patterns when I started the Coach's Corner back in 2006. So if you're in this boat I just talked about, no matter what your account size is, but particularly if your account is on the smaller side, then you are who I'm doing this webinar for, okay? Now here's the challenge. How can you safely take on small risk in a logical way, okay? How do you do that? So there's a formula for it, and that we're after, and it's not a secret formula or some mystery formula that you'll find on YouTube or garbage like that. It's a logical formula, and it's this: the formula or combinations of factor that we're looking for is the skill to find very small pip risk trades, right, which allow us to trade multiple lots, but at the same time keep your account risk very, very low, and at the same time having outstanding reward risk potential. That's really what we're after. That's the bottom line that we're trying to find. And that's what today's going to be all about, and how you can take a small trading account and grow it relatively quickly in a low risk way, okay? But with the ability to trade enough lots that you can have a chance at increasing your account size safely. And I'll get more specific about this shortly. So just coming full circle, if the small account issue is the case for you, all right, then this is why I'm doing this webinar. You're in the right place. I want to help you specifically. Okay, so let's take a deeper look at exactly how we take on, low risk, short-term trades. And before I do, I want to dispel another myth, and that is that, with the way I trade and how I teach, you actually don't need to sit in front of your computer all that much. True enough, with short-term trading, you do have to be a little more at your computer. But once you identify a pattern, you can simply use alerts. So then it's just a waiting game to see if an alert goes off, telling you that you're getting close to an entry. And in a few minutes, I'll show you how I do that. Now, once you're in a trade, yeah, different story. You do need to pay attention for the purposes of trade management, especially with short-term trading, because things move, pretty darn quickly, right? So, or they can anyway. And then, of course, at the end of the day, you might have to adjust your support resistance levels. But, once you get good at it, it does not take long. And by the way, we'll have a look at both 15-minute chart entry trades. That's what I call scalp trades, as well as 1-hour chart entry trades. And those we call day trades. Okay, that's the distinction, but they're both short-term trades. So we're going to take a look at some charts now. And remember the formula, let's just recap it. We're looking to find very small pip risk setups to have a nice reward risk profile so that you can have a chance to build your account quickly, right? And I'm going to, now show you how to get into these small pip risk trades. So first of all, every trade that we take must first set up by being at a key level of support resistance on our higher time frame charts. And if you've been with me, when I started this in 2006, nothing's changed. It's always been this way, and it just works, okay? So for day trading, we need to see now this is for a day trade, not a scalp. We need to see a daily and or a weekly level hit. Then we enter on the hourly chart. And if we're scalping, then we'll look for price to be at a support resistance level on the daily and or 4-hour chart. And then we'll use a 15-minute chart to find patterns for entries, okay? Learning how to identify these levels, like the significant necklines or support resistance, they're both the same thing, is crucial for the way that we trade. Whether it's long-term trading, short-term trading, it's all scalable. And of course, we have several videos in our members area that go over this in detail, that teach you exactly how to draw proper levels and even how to distinguish the strongest ones from the weakest ones. Okay. So the easiest way to explain all this is to show you some examples. And these are trades that, set up just recently here. This is a US yen trade. And the idea behind me showing you this is to show you the power in these moves and to show you how they set up and what we look for. And I hope that helps you. And this is a weekly chart. And you can see here that we hit this weekly neckline, what we call a neckline right here. We use the closing price of the bodies. We don't use the wicks. We use the closing bodies, okay? And on the daily chart, you see this level over here? It hit it again. Now listen, this is a very, very strong level. That's why it was marked when price came down here. It was coming back up. We're going, where could this stop? Well, it could stop here, or it could stop here, or it could stop here. How do you know what's going to happen? We don't know. And this is the thing that a lot of people panic over, like, what do I do? How do I? You wait and you let price tell you. This candle right here, right, is an ACAT setup. One of our members was actually in this trade. It's a pin bar reversal. It's part of our ACAT setup. And I won't get into whether the trade was trend or counter trend. We use advanced market flow, a concept that Darko introduced to everybody back in 2017 to determine our trend. But keep in mind, we're not taking a long-term trade here, right? We're just trying to get enough of a move to get the initial risk out, and then we can adjust our stops and or take profits so that we won't lose money on the trade. And this is one of the great skills in learning to trade, and that is trade management. Trade management alone can completely turn your trading around to the positive. And I'm going to be doing a new video on trade management in the next few days because it's just so important and it needs to be updated. So let's go ahead now to the hourly chart. So we saw the weekly and daily, and we go to the hourly chart, and this is that pin bar was this on this day here. You notice what's happening here. The price peaks are going higher. Can you see this? Can you see that this peak is higher than this peak? Pretty obvious, right? And can you see that this peak corresponding to here is higher than this one? So the MACD peaks were going lower at the same time that the price peaks were going higher. That's divergence. At this black line here is, my black lines are always daily resistance. Any red lines I have are 4-hour or support or resistance. This qualified, and that's important, it's got to qualify, and we always look for deep retracements for selling because, or buying, whichever the case may be, but by getting a deep replacement and putting our stop above levels like this, it gives us very small pip risk. This needed 15 pips. A 15 pip stop on an hourly setup. That's pretty darn cheap, guys, right? And the sell was at 115.56. Like I say, one of our members took this trade. And it's the reason we got such a cheap trade because we waited and let this rally all the way up. Now, sometimes you will not get filled. It will fizzle out. It'll only go like part way up and then go down and you miss the trade, right? Be prepared for that and do not start chasing price. Big, big mistake. Make price do what you want or pass on the trade, period. Really easy. By the way, remember I mentioned that you don't need to be sitting at your computer all the time? Well, what I do is once the trade's qualified and it starts to move up, like see it's moving up from here, I just put an alert before my entry somewhere down in here and I go about my day. If the alert doesn't go off, there's nothing to do. So that really takes away a lot of your time commitment, right? So, and that's all. So that way I don't have to sit there looking at it. Now, once you're in the trade, yeah, you want to be hands-on because, as price starts to go down, it becomes all about trade management. So for profit targets, you can use opposing levels like in here of support, or you'll find that fib extensions. So from this high to this low, this is a 127 extension, this red line, and this purple line is 162% extension. So those are very effective as well. So in this case, you could certainly elect to take a profit on all of your part of your position at this level here, which was support on this 1 hour chart. You see that? Okay, that's about 36 pips. That's over 2 to 1 right there. Okay, or you might elect to go for the 127 extension. That's about 60 pips. That's a 4 to 1 reward risk. One trade. right, in a day. Or maybe you simply remove the risk, like the price starts to go down for you, you take the risk out by moving your stop to break even and you leave it, and you go for an opposing daily level. That's this black line down here, okay? That's about a move of about 95 pips. Now you got a 6-to-1 reward risk. So now you're probably saying, well, brilliant, Vic, what is it? Where do you actually take profit? You're seeing all this in hindsight, right? What you need to do, and this is critical, is decide before you trade, not while you're in the trade, before you trade, how you're going to manage the trade, both for risk removal and for profit taking. And there is no right or wrong answer for this. And the reason is because everybody has different risk tolerances, different comfort levels. The one thing you don't want to do is panic when it gets up, 10 or 15 pips or start to move back a little bit like this. Oh, maybe it's going to go against me. I think I'll just get out of it right now. And then this happened. Have you ever had that happen? Probably everybody's had that happen at some point because you're nervous. It's emotion. That won't work. So your trade management plan might simply be to remove risk once you're up a 1-to-1. Like you risk 15, once you're up 15, you take the risk out of the trade. Or maybe you take partial profit at 1-to-1 and then you go for a deeper move. As I said, there's all sorts of ways to manage a trade. But I just wanted you to see the incredible power of getting into a trade with super small risk and big profit potential. That's what this is all about. Like when you get trades that make, say, a 3-to-1 reward risk, you actually only need to be right about 1/3 of the time and you'll be overall profitable. Just think about that. Now, being right only 1/3 of the time raises other psychological issues, right? That's, being wrong 2/3 of the time is not easy, but that's another story. The point is, when you get high reward risk trades, you can afford to be wrong a lot and still be profitable, okay? As long as you stick to your method. So that was a day trade based on a pin bar reversal, one of the ACATS trade setups using the 1-hour chart for entry. Okay, let's have a look at a scalp setup with super small risk. This is the US Canadian dollar pair. When price went up here and we hit this level in here, it bounced, it comes down into this level. Why is this level marked, this black horizontal line? Because this little tiny rally produced a huge drop. Something happened in here. Again, we just simply mark it. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't have to guess. I never guess. We just wait and see what price tells us, okay? And this was actually a 4-hour level of support, by the way, as well. Then you wait, and look what happened on the 15-minute chart. Price was going lower, okay? The MACD was actually going higher. It's hard to see. Doesn't matter because this is also what's called a swing break and rotation trade, which is a pattern that Darko refers to all the time. And it's a very, very good pattern when used properly. It's also a head and shoulders, by the way. This being the head, left shoulder, and then a right shoulder over here. So the buy is at the 79% again. We take these deep retracements with a little stop under here, 12 pips. This 127 extension right here is good for 34 pips, just shy of a 3-to-1. This one here, notice that it's the same as this level up in here, right? That's a profit of close to 50 pips. So on that 12 pip risk, you're looking at over 4-to-1. Now, and then this, by the way, it kept going up. This is non-farm payrolls. I'm not even going to get into that right now, but that's something that we are very, very well aware of. Keeping this or not keeping this, that's like I said, I'm going to leave that for now. That's more of an individual decision. We never trade around big red flag news, events like non-farm payrolls and that kind of thing, or rate releases. So again, I just wanted you to get a good idea of how and why we're able to position ourselves for these outstanding trades. They're pretty darn good. The main point I want to make is that you don't have to have a very big account. Like this is 12 pips risk, okay? Or say you do have the money, but you don't want to dive in with both feet before trying this out on a smaller basis. In my opinion, this is about as good as it gets. You can see just the incredible power that these moves can set up. Now, do they all win? No, of course not. We all know that, right? But when you get reward risks like this, you certainly do not need to be right very much. And by the way, we can usually, even if price goes against us, quite often we're able to get out with either break even or a smaller loss. Here's another one. This one's a day trade. Price hits this neckline on the weekly chart. It then hits, here's the daily chart. You think that's resistance? Of course it is. We don't know what's going to happen, but look at this. Another one of those pin bar reversals. Okay. And then what happens? The 4-hour chart hit that same level, identical. And then the 1-hour chart, this was the big drop. Here was the 79% retracement, was right here with a higher stop. I believe that one, let me just look at my notes here. That was a 20, that needed it needed a 20 pip risk, 20 pips. Actually, that same member who took that other one on the US yen took this trade as well. That's his setup. He watches ACATs as part of his plan. And this ended up going all the way down to this opposing level, this on the daily chart, this black horizontal line. Remember that one? Right here? You think that could be expected to be support. Geez, hit it. And that was a 5-to-1 reward risk unscaled. So if you scaled, it would still be good, but the reward risk would be a bit less. And by the way, the guy who took this trade did not get the full move down. Why? Because he has a predetermined trade management plan that he follows. So he got a nice profit out of everything. All of this, everything else is hindsight. Okay, one more here, or maybe I got a couple more, I don't know. US Canadian, oh, see this, here's that pin bar I told you about, and it came up and hit it again. What do you think? Should you do anything? No, you don't. You wait and see if anything happens. Okay, well, the 4-hour chart, that was all this level up in here. You can see a lot of resistance in here. What did the 15-minute chart do? It was right here. This price here started closing higher than all these, and then it had this big drop, dropping below all this. This is what's called a rotation, another swing break rotation, higher high, higher close, and a lower low, lower close. 79%, that's our baby right there. This one needed an 11 pip risk. To the 127% extension was 28 pips, so about a 2.5 to 1. And see this is a 162% retracement. It's the same number as the 4-hour, basically, as the 4-hour support level. So that's good for 37 pips, about a 3-to-1 reward risk. So again, just like small pips to risk, but big pips to make. Okay, and listen, I'm not saying you're going to get into these and all of a sudden be getting these, because it takes time to develop the confidence and the patience and all that kind of stuff. Just one more for you here. This was yesterday. I think that USCAD one was yesterday too. I can't remember, but anyway, we come down. This is another level that price weighted around and then just shot up like this. Taking on a bunch of highs, came back and revisited it. What are you going to do? I don't know. 4-hour chart. Look at that's the same. Here's the daily level is the black line. The red line's the 4-hour level. We like it a lot when we have these together. And what did the 15-minute chart do? Price was going lower. You can see that this is lower than this. But look at the bottoms. Look at the corresponding lows in the MACD. They're going higher. That's divergence. And then it goes up like this and takes out all these highs. So that's another rotation, divergence, head and shoulders. There's a 79% retracement. Was that ever nice, eh? They don't always, sometimes you just miss it and it takes off without you, but that's out of your control. You follow your plan, you put that in. This was a great move up. Here's the opposing daily level, 45 pips, and went even higher than that. So anyway, those are just the examples I wanted you to see how we're able to actually get these trades. There are some great benefits to short-term trading, and it's not suitable for everybody. Some people want to trade longer term or they don't have much choice, but here's the benefits. And I've mostly traded short-term, and I'll show you just a few of them that I really like. You don't need to have a very big account. That's what this webinar is all about, because the pip risk is small, low barrier to entry, short amount of time that you're in the market, which is nice because you don't have that market exposure. Anything that happens that you're not, unexpected, the less time you're being in a market means you're at risk, period, okay? By trading with these small pip stop loss, you can trade more lots. And when you can trade more lots, you can grow your account faster, okay? Point to take here, though, is that you can lose it a lot faster, too, if you don't know what you're doing. So I don't want to make it sound like it's just a one-way street to heaven here. You have to know what you're doing. It's very important. So, and if you just focus on a few patterns at key levels, it just takes away all the noise. Trade less with more focused setups. That's a good thing to do. Using those deep retracements that I showed you for entries that we do with our patterns. that makes the reward risks much higher, and they can be achieved with much, much less price movement. Like you get a 12 pip stop, for example, price has only got to go up 12 pips before you can either take profit on half of your position, remove the risk, whatever you're going to do. Not very much of a move. When a market turns at a higher time frame level, like say it's turning on a daily level, but you get a 15-minute setup, you're usually going to get in much earlier when you use smaller time frames with less pip risk. And then for actually trading it, you have to decide that the trading that suits you, the trading time that suits you. Keep in mind, it should be an active session, London, New York, or Asia. You're not going to be able to trade them all. We're all human. You got to have sleep and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. The downside, this is important too, because there's always downsides, of everything. You need to be at your computer more than you would be with longer term trading. At least have access to your charts, and then you got to manage them. That's really important, managing them very, very carefully. And it's a fast way to lose everything if you're reckless. I mean, you better have this nailed down with your trading plan, and it's not hard to do, but you have to actually do it, and then you'll be on your way. But if you try to cover too much and try to, I want to take all these different patterns and all these different pairs, it becomes overwhelming quickly. Don't try to do all that, okay? Pick a pattern. Maybe you can use several different currency pairs, but use maybe like divergence, I don't know. So we only have a few patterns, 3 or 4 patterns, so it's very easy to learn them all. I'm not saying trade them all, but they're easy to learn. The best thing you can do is pick one of the patterns and get really good at it and just trade that over and over. Pick the pattern that you see easiest. I don't know what it is for you. It's different for everybody, so don't worry about it. We're not looking for, you don't want to be looking for quantity of trades, okay? You might go for days without a trade. That's okay. You have to be very patient with short-term trading, just like with any other kind of trading. Okay, we want to see quality setups, and that's what I post to our members site all the time. Okay, so whenever I actually jumped ahead here a little bit in my notes here, so but I want to just, what the point I wanted to make is that what I do is cover all of the stuff that you just saw there in those trades. And the reason you might want to consider this whole thing is because I post setups to our members site all the time whenever they occur. That is really, really good for your RAS, your reticular activating system, because you see these setups over and over and over again, and you burn that pattern into your brain, okay? I started posting more and more videos to our members site in February and not posting a daily levels video, simply because, well, there's a few reasons, but mostly all of the information on how to draw proper levels is in the new member quick start guide. And I believe it's far more valuable for you to see these setups over and over and over again. Not only that, I've left lots of my past scalp level videos for you to go over. So you can go back and look at them and get an idea of how I pick out the stronger levels, okay? And I'm just gonna show you the trades that I posted for our members in February alone. This is just, I just screenshotted this this morning. This is just February alone, all the trades that I mean, if you want to trade divergence, just go to the ones that DIV means divergence, SBR means swing rate rotation. Look at divergence, 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 another one. There's tons of them. Go back and look at them. I'm not saying there's going to be tons next month. I don't know. We just take them whenever they come along, right? So yeah. But there's been, I don't know, 16 divergence trades or something this month. So will there be that many next month? I don't know. If there are, we'll take them. Okay. So another, and I already talked about the benefits out of them, about not looking for big quantities of trade, but looking for quality trades. Another benefit is that if you have questions about a setup, post them in our chat room. The chat room that we have is for our members only. It's for the purpose of talking about trades, nothing else. So we want it to be a non-intimidating, no politics, no religion, nothing like that. It's a great community of traders who are all doing what you're doing. They're all doing the same thing. So don't ever feel like the question you have is too stupid or whatever, right? And if you do post a question, it's quite possible that another member may be able to help you out if I'm not there. I'm not there all the time. On that note, I'm usually there during the New York session only from about 9 a.m. New York time onward. I live in the Pacific time zone, which is kind of a lousy one in some ways, but it doesn't, I still get enough trades here that it's very good. It's actually 6 a.m. for me. And like everyone else, I like to take holidays. I like to take time away. So it's possible that I'm not there at times. But even when I'm on holidays, I will generally get to my charts and post trades and answer questions. Okay, I'm not going to abandon anybody. You might have to wait a little bit longer, be a little bit more patient depending on where I am and my access to the laptop. But it's not like I'm away all the time either, but still, I just want you to know that. And another benefit of the service is when I do get to my computer, I'll go over any questions that were specifically directed to me and I'll answer them, or send me an email. My members have top priority when it comes to email access, okay? And actually some people prefer to email me questions rather than post them in the chat room, which is fine. I would just ask that keep the emails as short as you can, right, and to the point. And if it's about a setup, include a screenshot with it. Otherwise, it's just too difficult for me to figure out what you mean, and it gets overwhelming for me. I do like to see them posted in the chat room, though, because your questions help other people. Okay, if you're asking it, probably somebody else wants to know as well. But I just want you to know that I'm not in the chat room all day and all night. Okay, that's not going to happen, and neither are you. Right? We have members from all over the world on our services. We physically cannot be at our computers all the time. Darko and I, honestly, we have poured our hearts and souls into our services, and we love it. We make no mistake about it. We absolutely love what we do, but honestly, it can be exhausting if you don't set some personal boundaries. So I hope that makes sense. I want to show you what a few of our members have said about the service. So you're not just hearing from me, just telling you what a great deal it is. So this first email is actually, I got this last week, and I simply copied and pasted it without I didn't edit it. I didn't have the person's name on here because I didn't have permission to use it, but it's just so spot on that I wanted to share it. He says, I'm following you also on YouTube, and you really helped me to open my eyes. I'm trading over 10 years now. Anybody else in that boat? And I've never ended up with a positive result by the end of the year. This is not uncommon. I was hopping from one strategy to another. That also was not uncommon without really looking behind. The most important tool is to have a trading plan, a strict rule-based trading plan to follow. You mention this very often in your podcasts, that without having a trading plan, it's nearly impossible to become successful. I heard very often about it, but I never took it seriously. But after all these years, I finally started to write a trading plan. I used your free example, by the way. Awesome, good to hear, which is not finished yet. So basically what I do is running many back tests where I only take trades based on my trading plan and journal them, excellent, with screenshots and additional descriptions. The results from my back testing are very awesome, and I just wanted to say thank you. The point in this thing, I really want you to see how valuable it is to have a trading plan, okay? This is Matthew, one of our members, another fellow Canadian, actually. From back east, Montreal. I've been trading for 4 years now, but before joining the Coach's Corner, I was constantly changing strategies. This is just totally common. People jump from one to another and losing money. I also tried different services, but also came to the same point. After listening to Vic and Darko's podcast, I gave myself one last chance. Okay, this is it. Cadillac or Packsack. One last chance to join another service, so I joined Coach's Corner. The strategies are simple and clear. Darko and Vic are very good price action analysts. They always talk about taking your time, defining a plan, focusing on one strategy at a time. Matthew totally gets it. I then decided to force myself to apply this principle. With the help of another member of the group, I built my own trading plan and found a pattern that jumped out at me. I have now been trading this one and only pattern for 6 months now and have been profitable since then with an average of 1% per month. It's not huge, but constant, and above all, I don't lose money anymore. Happy trading. Listen, this 1%, you might roll your eyes. That's a big step forward. I mean, maybe you're not up 1% per month over the last 6 months, right? It's got to start somewhere, and he'll get better and better at this, but I'm just so impressed that he's the guy that took that US yen ACAT trade as well as that USCAD one that I showed you guys. One more here. This is from Leo. Leo's in Germany as well. So having jumped services and methodology. There we go again, jumping services and methodologies. I joined the CC at the end of 2017. I'm now a consistently profitable trader, mainly due to the guidance of Darko, Ali, and Vic Noble. This service provides an objective technical approach to the Forex market with a dedication and care unequaled by any other service I have come across. If you follow their guidance and work on yourself, that's important too, you have a very good chance of becoming consistently profitable. So, I just thought it's good to, see what other people's take on it is and how they've been able to sort of, move forward. So this is some suggestions for getting started. To say this appeals to you, whether it does or not, who knows? But a little brain trick that you might consider. I've had other people do this, and just pretend that you have an account of say a couple $1,000, and just trade micro lots and commit to a small amount of money, say $100, and just totally pretend that it's gone. You just went out for dinner or something and you spent that much. Does it ruin your life to have that gone? I hope not, okay, or you shouldn't be trading. So take that same $100, put it towards a small pip-risk trading, and it's an inexpensive way for you to find out if it's an approach that you could go get onto. And I'm very, very sure that you can do this, by the way. The patterns are not complicated at all. Having said that, please don't expect to be nailing these trades right off the bat. You probably won't. Seeing them, because I just showed you all these trades, that have taken place, but seeing them in real time is the trick as they're setting up. And the more you look for them and watch the videos that I post and get used to exactly what they look like, the better you're going to be at picking them off. That's why I upload videos all the time, so you can start to see these setups in your sleep, right? Really easily. So the other way to test this out is just commit to taking a certain number of trades and seeing what the result is. I hope you've heard of Mark Douglas. He's got a book called Trading in the Zone. He talks about this very thing, taking a sample set of at least 20 trades and testing it out. But listen, this is very, very important. These need to be 20 trades of the exact same pattern without deviation. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything to go by. You got to take the same pattern and trade it 20 times and see how it works out. No cheating, all right? No veering off course. Okay, we're almost done. I just have a few more things to say, and I'll get to the questions, pricing and the questions. There are some certain real important keys to growing an account. I'll just run through them quickly. Having a trading plan is not optional. In our quick start guide, I have a sample plan all laid out for you, and you should have received that plan when you registered. It's the exact plan that's in our new member quick start guide. But no excuses for not having a plan. I've created it for you, and of course it's your plan, so you can make any minor changes to it that you want. Managing risk, boy, I tell you, you could grow it fast by betting the farm, and that could work. Believe me, it will not last. You'll tap out eventually. If you keep your risk small, you can stay in this game a very, very long time. And we recommend that you don't risk more than about 0.5% of your account on any one trade. When you're starting out and you got a small account, if you want to risk a bit more, yeah, that's up to you. Maybe you want to go to 1%. As your account grows, scale it back to 0.5 because it's all about capital preservation, okay? When I was a broker, just a kind of a quick sidebar, I saw some very, very bad things happen with people who didn't care about risk. They way, way over leveraged their account. I'm talking about, honestly, this is heartbreaking. Houses lost, cars lost, marriages ruined. It's devastating and 100% avoidable simply by keeping your risk small. Become a super good trade manager. This is all about how you manage a trade once you're in it. Understand ahead of time, not while you're in the trade, ahead of time, how you're going to manage the trade. Like when you're going to move the stop to remove risk. Where are you going to take profit? Is it a fib extension? Is it an opposing level? Will you scale out of a trade? Will you go for more of an all or nothing approach? This can all be put into your trading plan. You don't have to answer to anybody. It's just for you. You have to think long-term, everybody. I'm telling you, get off the get-rich-quick mentality. Stop thinking that there's some kind of a shortcut. What I'm telling you today is about as close to a shortcut as you're going to find. And it is a way for you to grow an account quickly and safely. It's not linear, right? In other words, it's not like we know exactly how many trades we're going to have each week and each month and what the results of those trades are going to be, right? We take a professional approach, and we take the qualified trades as they present themselves to us. End of the story. Your mindset, the more you do this, your mindset's going to develop. The better you're going to do in sticking to the process without deviation. Confidence will grow. You'll lose the need to be right, which is not a psychological issue. You'll understand the odds game that this is. Everything kind of chills out, right? You develop that patience, but you have to be willing to give this a chance in the first place. Okay, and don't forget, the other option too. Once you get going, if your confidence grows and it's working for you just nicely, and it's going along now, you could add more funds. You could compound your results. But anyway, that's first things first. Okay, how much? I always find it interesting. When you to see what people are willing to pay for different products or services. The question is, how do you value the information? My main goal is, we have all this information, but the goal is transformation. The goal is to transform you from where you are now to where you want to be, okay? How do you value any information? It boils down to what you think you're going to get out of it, doesn't it? The benefit. So like here in Vancouver, if I want to become a good golfer, you could go take a golf lesson. That runs anywhere from $75 to $100 for 1 hour. So if you value that, then you're willing to pay it, right? And of course, there's lots of other examples, educational services. Maybe you want to take a cooking class, whatever. They can get expensive, but people pay for them because they see value in them and they have an end result in mind, something that they want out of it. So at the end of the day, it's all about perceived value. I've been running the Coach's Corner since 2006. And, listen, we have never provided as much value as we do now, in my view anyway. And if any of you have been around for a while, you'll know that our prices have only gone down, not up. After 6 years of doing this, I value my time very, very much, more than ever before. And that's probably because I'm not getting any younger. Our service is now cheaper than it was 16 years ago. If anybody was back in the Coach's Corner back then, you might remember it was $187 a month when I first started, and it was just me. So anyway, here's the deal. I feel like I know what's best for almost all traders, and that is not trying to eat the elephant in one bite. That means not thinking that you're going to, be some kind of a hotshot expert trader after 1 month of trading. So it means joining for more than a month. Listen, I've been doing this a long time. I'm being honest with you. I'm telling you what I've observed. And obviously you can do whatever you want. I'm just being, like I say, as dead honest with you as I can. And I'm going to provide you with a link in a few minutes for a longer term subscription, if that's in the cards for you. But just bear with me for a second here. Joining the service for a month is fine. You can do that. It's not my call. And I get it. You want to see what it's like, kick the tires, so to speak. Maybe you think that in a month you're going to learn it all and be on your way. Honestly, I cannot look you in the eye and say that that is true. I'm not saying it can't happen. I don't want to say never. It's very, very unlikely though. It takes longer. How much longer? I don't know. Maybe you will be doing well after a month. But if you're like most people, it just takes longer to truly execute your trading plan that we keep talking about without deviation. Psychologically, you got to get to that point. It becomes mostly psychological. It takes focus, and it takes, all the things, discipline and commitment, determination, and an overall attitude that you're going to stick to the process like glue. It's no different than getting good at anything. I just don't know why people think it's going to be different with trading. So that's why I say that it takes more than a month. I'd rather say that it takes longer and have you set your expectations accordingly, rather than say you'll be off and running in a month, knocking them dead. Because if that does not happen, how are you going to feel? You're going to be disappointed, disillusioned, probably blame me, right? And I just want to give you the best chance possible right from the get-go. So that's my take on this. So right now, if you go to our site, this is the regular prices right now. It's $97 a month. The prices for both Darko swing trading and my scalp trading service are on one page. And if you want both services, it's $147 per month. So $97 a month if you want to do monthly. And then the yearly, right now, if you click on this yearly tab right here, this is what will come up. $9.97 a year or $13.97 for both. By the way, just on that note, I would recommend that you know, unless you're experienced and able to handle it, just do one service at a time. It can be distracting if you're not really on top of it. Maybe you are, but I'm just saying. $9.97 works out to $83 a month, which for the value that I feel that I'm providing is a no-brainer. It's just my humble opinion, of course, but that's it. But here's the offer. What you can get right now. We're gonna do the full year, 1-year membership for $747 a month, from a year, which works out to just $62.25 a month. And I don't know, $62.25. You know, put it this way, I can think of a lot worse things that I spend $60 a month on. But listen, it depends obviously on what you want and you know, how you want to proceed. So there is the rate right there. There's the link to the special, and it's going to be good until March the 1st, which is next Tuesday, right? So if you haven't decided by then, it's not for, this isn't for you, and that's totally cool. We're just putting it out there. So I hope you find this fair, because as I say, we've decreased our monthly price by about 50% since I started, because the reason is because we've just tried to accommodate as many struggling traders as we can. And as I say, you know, we tried to do our best to make our services available to most traders. Okay, I'm gonna actually, what I'll do here, let me bring this up here, and I will copy and paste this. Vic did it already. Vic Young did it. Did you guys get that link? Okay, I can take questions now. Oh, here we go. Prices are great, but I'm currently unemployed. Pandemic. Are you able to give us an extension beyond March? You know, I'll do it on a case-by-case basis. Contact me. I don't like saying no to anybody. It's probably one of my weaknesses, but you know, contact me, okay? Yeah, and I understand. It's been a very unusual couple of years. There's no question about that with this pandemic and everything. Jeez, it's really been horrible. But anyway, I understand. So yeah, well, listen, if that's your situation, contact us, and we'll see what we can do. Okay. Anybody else have any other questions? Was I that good? I hope that it will all. Can you please put the links back on the screen? Yeah, sure. Oh, thank you, Alex. He says yes, you were. There's the link. There's the you mean the links for the yeah, it's everything's US dollars. You mean the links for the social media? Whoever put that on there? Ah, okay, sure. Hang on a second here. Let me go back to that. Whoops. I'll just get right back to that. There we go. There. I'm enjoying the podcast. You and Darko make a good team. Oh, thank you, Royston. Appreciate that. Yeah, I'll pass that along to Darko. Does Lennox offer a coaching service? I don't know. I don't do any. I have nothing to do with that. With the other service. Oh, hey, Rich. How you doing there? Thank you so much. Good to see you here. What would be your approach to learn swing break and rotations? What would be your approach? My approach, it's all explained in our new member quick start guide. Here, let me show you that. If I go to here's our short-term trading area, members area here. If I go to the new member quick start guide, right here, let's see here, down on the video illustrations, swing breaks and rotations, there's a whole video on it right here. So you can learn about it right there. Everything's there on that, okay? So that's what my approach would be to that. Do you trade live every day with the members on a live meeting or something similar? I'm in the room. This is not an alert service, first and foremost, not a trade alert service. It's an education service. However, I'm in the room. If I'm in the room and I see a setup, yeah, I say so, you know, right? So no problem. I'm interested in swing trading. Does Darko offer the same services as you? Yes, he does. Everything we do is pretty similar. I use, you know, Darko uses no indicators at all, and we don't need indicators. Actually, I have MACD on there because it's a visual thing for people to see, and you know, a lot of people like to see that, so I leave it. But you don't need any indicators at all. Darko is his long-term trading has been really, really good. Now, if that's the kind of trading that you need or want, yeah, absolutely, go look at it. I'm going to be posting another video of his today or tomorrow. I'm not sure, probably tomorrow. And another really, really good swing trade that he's in right now, and he's had some great, great moves. So yeah. So let me see here. John, the day trading seems so logical. How many pairs do you watch every day, and how many trades do you enter on any day? It really depends, John. Like, first of all, for the pairs, I go through them all just because but I'm only looking for, I like trading divergence, and I've been doing that since 2006, and I like trading swing breaks and rotations because they're very similar, which is also like it's a head and shoulders pattern as well. Okay, so, you know, it really, that's the ones I like. So, and I'm able to look at all the pairs because I've been doing this a long time, because they just jump out at me. I mean, either you have divergence or you don't. It's very objective. Okay, so how many trades in a day? There could be one, there could be two or three, there could be none. There could be none for a few days. Okay. Tom, thanks, Vic. I'm coming back. I sold my business and will have more time. Oh, awesome. Good, Tom. Good to have you back with us. For example, the daily posts of setups. Yeah, I post them whenever there's a setup, Matt. I post those setups. If I'm away for whatever reason, I might have to wait till the end of the day, or even get a couple of days and then do a few at once. But I post them whenever I can. They do get posted. And if a member takes a trade, I encourage them to let me know, and I'll have a look. And yeah, do you recommend a specific Forex platform, or it doesn't matter? So like for let me just see here, for trading, no, we don't recommend anything. I use FXCM here in Canada. Darko uses FXCM UK. He lives in Sweden. Now that's not an endorsement on them. I've used them for many, many years, and I like them. A lot of our members use Oanda. I just have to, you know, do some research, like Google, whoever you want to look into. Peter, I still have to learn more basic things. I must collect my circus money as well. Circus money, yeah. You are great. Thank you thank you, Peter. That's very kind. Can you, Thomas, I rejoined the CC service and I love the information and training material. Great webinar. Do you have a site that you keep past the webinar? What kind of a site do you mean? Do you teach the US 30 New York morning and London session daily breakouts? No, I don't. I don't teach, but everything we do can be used on any other asset class. You know, you can, there's some great setups, and you have to be patient, but on oil, gold, you know, other commodities, whatever. Okay. Do you have a site that you keep past webinar? Oh, I see what you mean. Webinars that we've had in the past. Sorry. They're YouTube videos, but actually, Vic, we could actually probably dig those up. You know what we might do? We might create an area somewhere in here for past webinars, maybe down at the bottom or something like that. And by the way, for our charts, we use TradingView, and you'll see down here there's a TradingView tutorial how to put your charts together just like mine. We're not an affiliate or anything for them, just information, right? Yeah. So, but you guys, when you get this recording, it's going to be a YouTube video. Okay. Okay, I'm saving up to be able to buy the service and attend Darko. I really enjoy listening to your podcast and your YouTube clips. Swing trading suits me so good. Just need a little help and pushing in the right direction. Thank you, Vic, for providing this amazing material. Oh, Christopher, you're most welcome. Thank you for attending. You know, and when the timing's right, good. You know, I mean, that's, you know, I mean, it's always, I always want it to be right for the subscriber. You know, we don't want anybody, you know, putting in money that they can't afford to or something like that. You know, make it so that it's proper, lack of a better word. Mm-hmm. Anything else here? We're just gonna wait a second here. I don't think I received the trading plan. Can it be resent? Vic Young, how does Cora get the trading plan? Just a sec here, Cora. We'll figure it out. And Cora, at the worst case, okay. You know what? Send an email to info@forexmentor.com. Okay, info@forexmentor.com, and they'll get one to you. By the way, I should have mentioned this too. If you have any issues at all, like signing into your account, or you didn't get the link, or something to do with your account, don't email me, because what I do is I have to email Vic Young, who looks after all that stuff. So just email him directly at info@forexmentor.com. Thank you for your time, Coach. Oh, Cyril, thank you so much, Cyril. Appreciate it. Maybe a partial refund if I just don't understand what you are teaching. Oh, is there a satisfaction guarantee? Maybe we don't. You know what, Matt? For digital products, we don't. It's just it gets too abused. I'm afraid to say that. And you know, if it's $97 for a month, and I don't think. Unfortunately, the answer is no. We just don't. I'm sorry. Okay. You're most welcome, John. Thanks. We got that. Okay. All right. Oh, here we go. Matt says, thank you. Very informative webinar. Podcasts have been great too. Oh, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate that. I'll pass that along to Darko. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I think that pretty much wraps everything up, I guess. I mean, let me see here. Let's get this here. If anybody else has any other questions, just pop them in there now. And by the way, if for some reason you know, you had a question, I didn't answer it or whatever, just send me an email afterwards. I'll be happy to get back to you. And I'll just put this up here one more time in case you want that link. And like I say, we'll send the recording off to everybody anyway, automatically. I don't know, probably about 2-3 hours. Oh, here's another one. On a small account, $300 or less, do you recommend swing scalping or day trading? Oh, you got to be a scalp trader. $300 or less is not big enough to be swing trading, because the stops on it, on swing trading, you know, are usually like a minimum of 50 pips. Generally, they could be a bit smaller, but they can be also, you know, 100 pips. And you're just not able to grow an account very much if you can only trade one micro lot, you know. Whereas with scalping, when you're only risking, you know, 11 pips or 15 pips, now you can trade more lots safely. See? But yeah, good question. Good question. All right, keep it going. Anybody? I'm in no hurry, so if anybody has another question they want to ask, please do so. And if not, we'll wrap it up. Yeah. Okay. Well, here we go. I watched Darko's ACAD video 100 times over the last 2 years. Would you recommend joining your service or Darko's? You know, that's a question for you, John, because so if you don't have time to be at your computer very much, then a longer term approach, you know, and you want to have a bigger account too. Like this what I'm showing you here today is better for smaller accounts, or maybe you have the money but you don't want to risk very much of your, you know, you only want to open a smaller account, and that's fine too. So it really depends on what you're able to do. Sujan, contact the back office, okay, at info@forexmentor.com. Is there live trading where we can all trade together as a team? No, there is not. What we do have is our chat room, and absolutely you can go in there and you know, like I might not be there because again I'm in the Pacific time zone. So if it's something setting up during the London session, you can always you know, ask another member or post that you're looking at. Hey, I see divergence on such and such a pair. Is this correct? And you know, somebody will likely answer you. Okay. Yeah, John. If you're used to looking at 5-minute charts after all these years, then I would say that day trading or scalping. When I say scalping, I'm talking 15-minute charts would be more suitable. Okay. So yeah. So that's my. Did I answer those questions properly or adequately or satisfactorily? Great stuff. Yeah. Well, you know what? We'll cap it at that. That's an hour. We've been doing this, and what we'll do is, get this recording done, get it out to you guys. And if you have any more questions, you know, let me know. If it's a back office kind of a question about your account or subscribing or whatever, send it in an email to info@forexmentor.com, because I don't have access to even all the subscribers. Vic Young looks after all that. Okay, I just stay for that stuff. You're most welcome, Josh. Thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. Yeah. Awesome, everybody. Thank you again. And thank you, Vic Young, for doing the recording and all that back office stuff that he does all the time. And we'll hopefully see you guys. All right. Thanks so much. Oops. Oh, here we go. If you're not Vic Young, who are you? I'm Vic Noble. Sorry, there's two Vics here. It actually gets kind of confusing sometimes. You're most welcome, Royston. Yeah, I thank you, Peter. You too. Yeah, there's two Vics here. There's Vic. I'm Vic Noble, and the co-founder of Forex Mentor is Vic Young. All right. Take care, everybody. Thank you again.